Welcome back into the Fourth Man podcast. I'm your host, Anthony, as always, and we got another special guest on the show this week. Today on the show, we have on the newest edition of Killer Threes and Big 3 rookie, Duke Jones, aka Duke Skywalka. Duke, again, thanks for taking the time and welcome to the show. Welcome to the league.
Appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm excited about this one. Mostly, one, I would say, because I've interviewed a lot of players, but I feel like this year is cool because we're like interviewing a lot of the newer players, which is normal. But like most of the newer players are guys that are these, I guess you could say like YouTube ballers or ball is life ballers. When in reality, it's like you guys are proving that you're paving a path and that you guys, are legit, are pros. You get paid, play basketball for a reason. So I like to hear from you guys. We'll definitely talk more about that, but. Just how are you feeling overall? You're a couple weeks into your first season in the Big 3. Limited playing time so far, but how are you just feeling overall, just like kind of where you're at with your career?
Bro, I'm blessed to be in the position that I'm in. Positions like opportunities like this don't come like this. So, I can't be mad about the position that I'm in. Obviously, I would love to play more, but I can't do nothing to be ready when my number is called and just support my teammates. I'm there to whatever the team needs support. That's what I'm there for. So I mean, hopefully, I'll be able to get in more, show what I can do. But for sure, I'm cool with what's going on because I can only control what my controls.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I'm excited for you to get a little more playing time and kind of show, the world or the rest of the Big 3 community, your peers now, kind of like what your game has to offer. But before we talk too much just about the Big 3 itself, I want to talk a little bit about your journey leading to the Big 3 and kind of summarize it a little bit. Just kind of looking at your background, obviously you played college basketball, played at Warner University. It looks like you played a little bit of semi-pro basketball as well with the Jacksonville Giants, which I'm very familiar with them. As well as some other semi-pro teams. I'm just curious, how would you describe your basketball journey in just a word or a couple words to knowing where you are today?
Bumpy, but consistent. I fought injuries. I went to Warner because it was close to home. Like I started playing basketball late. I started playing basketball in 11th grade. I started playing basketball in 11th grade. So I really didn't know much about, being, scouted or looking for schools. I didn't really have like a goal or like, going, Division I or anything. But, as I started playing, all that stuff started to, come to factor. And so I wasn't really, familiar. And then my mom, she wasn't familiar with the recruiting and nothing like that. So like the first school that offered me a scholarship, I signed to them, which was the NAIA school. I was there for like a semester and then I ended up breaking my foot. So I didn't even do like a full season there. And after that, some things happened with my scholarship and, stuff like that. So, and by then, my oldest son was about to be born. So I had a child young as well. So just trying to juggle that. So, I just started, working. And from that point, I got an opportunity with the Jacksonville Giants. I went up there with them. And we won the championship my rookie year. And then I ended up playing with another team that was just closer to home. And then from there, I was just working and then started doing, the Balls Life stuff. And that just went crazy. That went crazy. And then, then I got a role in the, the White Man Can't Jump remake that came out last May on Hulu. And then just the Big 3. Like I said, so it's been bumpy, but I mean, I wouldn't want it any other way because I know my story for sure inspires other people.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think it just gives, because there's so many good hoopers out there, right? Like there's so many different roads to playing professional and getting paid. I want to take it back just a couple steps because like the jump is crazy, right? Like first off, you didn't start playing until you're in the 11th grade. Getting a scholarship just anywhere is insane after only playing, in an organized fashion for a couple of years. What made you start playing basketball like kind of so late into your high school career?
Well, growing up, I played football.
Okay.
And then, I was a football player, and I was short. I grew 5 inches going into like my 11th grade summer.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, so I had a crazy growth spurt. But a buddy of mine, he had just moved to my neighborhood. He was already good at basketball, and I would just go with him and we would just start playing and we would practice. Like that's all we did, like literally every day, all day. Get from school, go play basketball, and then I just developed a love for it. And then after that, like I said, I tried out 11th grade. I made it. Like, no, let's not get it twisted. I tried out 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade,
Okay.
9th grade, and didn't make it. Made it 11th grade. Like I got a name for myself. I was athletic. I had a growth spurt. I was athletic. And then 12th grade, I ended up starting. And we went like the farthest in school history. We were all like on the news and articles, all that good stuff. And we made it to regional finals. And I was getting looked at by like a lot of different schools and things like that. But I ended up signing to the first school that offered me because honestly, I didn't know any better.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. I'm sure that gave you a little bit of confidence too, right? Like, okay, I'm 5 inches. I can definitely see over people a little more. And I'm sure there was also a sense of like, man, I wish I could have grown 5 inches sooner so I could like build up my resume a little bit more. But
yeah, for sure.
I'm sure like the athleticism came with them. Were you always someone that kind of had hops though? Like you were always pretty decent at basketball. It was more of just like trying to figure out your height advantage and how to utilize it.
Bro, I was terrible. Like just imagine your mom just football player trying to play basketball.
So you're just aggressive and rough and everything that basketball players hate.
Yeah.
Which is kind of evidenced by your first Bring the Fire situation, just being like aggressive with Gerald Green. I feel like you still got traits of the aggressiveness, right?
Oh yeah, no, I had to because I know I'm the new kid on the block. I'm gonna be testing a lot. I'm not gonna lay down at all.
Yeah. And what's crazy too is like, you start your basketball journey a little bit later. You get a college or a basketball scholarship to play at a university, and then you face some adversity and break your foot. And then, like, it sounds like one of the first things you did when you come back is obviously play basketball and win with the Jacksonville Giants. But two, to get an opportunity to play in a Hulu movie and White Men Can't Jump. How does an opportunity like that come about? Are you someone that's always wanted to act, or is it just something that just randomly happened in the moment?
It kind of was random. I was doing this stuff with Ball's Life. We was making noise and just creating a different lane, a different opportunity. For a lot of guys to one, be paid, but just become an entrepreneur with whatever they want to do. And I had got this random email one day, and I thought it was fake, but I had got this email, and this lady emailed. She's like, "Oh, we're doing a remake of White Man Can't Jump. Would you want to be a part of it?" And I was like, obviously, of course. And I didn't hear nothing back for like a couple months. And then she wrote me again. I was like, well, unfortunately, you're gonna be in the background. Would you still be willing to come out? I was like, yeah, to be in a movie, of course. And then she was like, it's one more thing. Just because you're in the background, it doesn't mean you're gonna be shown in the film. Mm-hmm. So just being an extra doesn't mean you're gonna get seen.
Right.
Like you'll still be on the set and everything, but you may not be seen. And she was like, it's a local hire, so you have to cover your own travel expenses and everything. And I was like,
dang.
Yeah, that was like right post COVID. So the flights were ridiculous. Like my flight to LA was like $1,700 round trip. And then my hotel was like another like $600-700. Like so I was going out on a limb, like literally going out on a limb. And when I got there, I was at base camp. And like one thing led to another, and then they told me I had all my stuff like to be an extra and everything. They was like, "Hey, we need you to take that off. Can you come with us?" The scene was filmed at Venice Beach, so we were walking over to Venice Beach, and they was like, "Yeah, you're being upgraded." And I was like, "What does that mean?" They're like, "Well, you're gonna have an actual role, and we want you to play yourself." So I played as Duke Skywalka in there, and I was like, "What?" And then come to find out, like the director, he was like a huge fan of mine. Like, wow. It was insane. Yeah. It was insane. So that I got upgraded and got my own role, and I was able to connect with guys like Jack Harlow and like Senqua Walls and things like that. It was crazy. It was crazy.
It pays to know people, but how did the director? He just been watching your stuff on Ball's Life. Was just like a huge fan of that page.
Yeah. He was like, man, I love like your highlights. Like I love what you do. Like just like, my persona and everything like that. And he's like, yeah, man, I follow you on Instagram and everything. So I go on Instagram. I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. Like I didn't even know. And yeah, he was a real cool dude. Like he embraced me and everything. Like that created, another lane like as being an actor.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely that was a big deal to me. Like it was a great opportunity. Like to this day, like I still, reap benefits from it. Like whether that's like doing commercials or other things like that as well.
Yeah, that's insane. I feel like they should have known that about you as they're like, casting people. I feel like they should do their research right beforehand, but I guess they don't really do that. They're just like, nah, you look like you fit the part.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, that's crazy though. Yeah, and like, I mean, for you now, I mean, you're at a point where you have, your professional career playing in the Big Three. You have an IMDb page as a professional actor, essentially. But it sounds like a lot of that happened and the opportunities came about because of your affiliation with Ball's Life and just being on that team. That's like, I feel like in a really exclusive group that as of only recently has grown to the number of people it was. Like, I think like previously it was kind of the same hoopers that you would see in park takeovers and doing one-on-ones. And as they've expanded a little bit to hoop dreams and whatnot, more people have been added to that team. How did you get to be a part of that, originally?
So before it was even a team, like some big names like, Devontae Friga, they would go to parks, and just play and record it, and it was actually an event that he did, and the filmer for Ball's Life at the time, he was there, and I wasn't gonna go to it, and I ended up just going to it, and it was like, bro, it was like 1,000 people out there to watch. And I'm like, bro, what is going on? Like, what is this? And I went out there and I just hooped, and people, they liked it, and then like a lot of like the big time like people that react to videos, they started reacting to it, and they were like, who is this guy? And like one thing led to another, and a guy that actually was on the team with me named Austin, he came up to me, we exchanged info, and then out of nowhere, they reached me, they hit me up from the Ball's Life page, like, hey, you want to do like a part takeover with us? So we did like a few of them before like they started to say like, hey man, we can make this into a thing, like, make the first streetball group and just go around playing, and like that's what we did. And at the time I was still working. I was working overnights for Pepsi, and the guy at the time, his name is Scotty. He was like, we keep doing this like the right way. This is what you'll be doing for a living. I'm just taking that like one ear and not the other, like playing park basketball, like,
no,
he was right. He was right.
That's crazy. And I mean, you're at a point now where in these latest videos, I was just watching some last night. I was just watching the Hoop Dreams one with you as like the team captain, and you're essentially helping other people, like you're putting on for other people to help them have their own hoop dreams. I mean, what's it been like to be a part of kind of the pioneering experience for something that, I mean, you can say really hasn't been done since like the AND1 tour, right? Where the people are doing park takeovers, and like it's just a new way with YouTube being so popular and things like that. What's it like to be part of that kind of like building experience?
It's a great feeling because, I've been on the other end of the stick. So, I've been there one like, hey man, like I really want to, do this, and, didn't either know the people or had the access or whatever the case it was. So just being able to be like that, that bridge or like that stepping stone to where like, hey, I can help you, get to this point. Obviously it's going to be you having to do what you do, but also like if I could be there to help, why not? And I feel like that's helped me with a lot of the things that I've been doing. Like I feel like even with, being a part of the Big Three.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like new blood in the water now, right? So like you got some people on your team, but bust some different asses instead of the people that you're used to playing all the time. So
yeah, for sure.
That's cool. And it's like I mentioned, it feels like a testament to being a part of the Ball's Life team, and just your hard work over there gave you an opportunity to be at the Big 3 Combine. From what it sounds like, what was the Combine like? How was your experience overall, just like competing in it, and why did you feel like this was the right year to try and participate in the Big 3?
Honestly, I went to the Combine because I was actually in Cali doing the Hoop Dream stuff, and me, Nitty, and Nas, he hoop all day, 24/7. So there's a lot of leagues going on. So we played in like 2 or 3 different leagues with him, and I actually played against D Block.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I actually played against Darnell. Yeah, so I played against Darnell in like 2 different games, and I had to guard him and stuff like that. And he didn't know me, but he came up to me. He's like, "Bro, like, I really like your game." And I was like, appreciate it, And at the time, and I did my research. I'm like, "Hey, man, I didn't know like his resume."
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up reaching out to Frank and was like, "Hey, man, like that man, he can play, bro. Like he belongs in the Big Three." So like D Block ended up, sending me like the combine information and everything like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going, book me a ticket and go to the combine. And just going to the combine, like I said, it was a great opportunity, just seeing, all the NBA greats and just going out there to compete. And I just always feel like, what is for you is for you, it can't be denied. And I didn't get drafted, but I feel like, God put me in this certain situation because I feel like that's what I needed to go to get to the next step.
Yeah, no doubt, man. D Block's such a real one, man. He
is, bro.
He's a good friend of the show, but that is just like, I mean, that's just love that he's showing right there to even like go out of his way and do something like that. So, man,
nah, definitely, big shout out to him.
That's just kind of like fate, or like who you're supposed to meet to as well, and kind of like goes to comes back to like the brotherhood of just people that play professionally, right? Like that's just kind of what you do for each other. So that's cool, and. You had mentioned, like, obviously you didn't get drafted. The Big 3 draft is weird. And I feel like I want to put it in perspective for anybody that's watching or listening that's not familiar. It's like, okay, you might go undrafted, but there's only 22 spots to get drafted. Like, hopefully there's more one day. So, but you have 22 spots. And most of those spots are being filled by people that have played before. Every now and then it might be someone that you know. And then a couple of them are those chances that you take, right? And like not a ton of teams are taking chances. I felt like Three's Company maybe did with Nas. That's paid off. And this is no discredit to anyone that played for Killer Threes, but they took a chance and it didn't necessarily work out the way that they wanted to. So you get the call, you get picked up, stayed ready. What was the, I guess, can you kind of break down when you got that call and just kind of where you're at and just kind of your emotion behind it when, it happens?
So when I went undrafted, I wouldn't say I was disappointed, but I was just like, man, like I know, like I went out there and I played, and, I showed what I can do offensively, defensively. But like I said again, it wasn't time. And I literally was talking to my boy like an hour before I got the call, and he was like, "Nah, like bro, it's gonna happen." Like he's like, "But something gonna happen to where like you gonna get that call up." And he was like, whether it's this season, next season, cause I see, Ice Cube, he steady adding teams and stuff like that. So, the league is growing. But like an hour later, like Frank had FaceTime, man. He was like, hey, like, I'm gonna put you on a call with the team, but like, bro, we're gonna give you, an opportunity. You got a game Saturday. And I was like, what?
Wow. That's nuts.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, man, like we literally just like talked about it an hour ago and like we just like manifested it. And it was like, right then, it's like, boom, it's time.
Yeah. So you get the opportunity to obviously like fly out that next weekend and play or, be a part of it on Saturday. And can you just walk me through like meeting Oak and, the rest of the team and just, I guess like first initial reactions? Like what does Oak tell you? Like what's one of the first things he's like telling you as you're like joining this team, and what's your kind of your thought process? Like this dude's like a, a legend in the NBA.
I mean, Oak gonna be Oak. He gonna tell you how it is. He gonna tell you, he gonna tell you, what it is and when you know what it ain't. And he was just like, we ain't been playing defense. Like,
yeah,
we haven't been playing how we've been playing these last years. Like we used to be the team that was feared. Like we got to get back to that. So, like everybody embraced me. Like, JP, like that's a 2-time NBA champion right there. He treated me like, little brother. Same thing with Dante, same thing with Frank, same thing with Dom. I actually played against Dom in California as well, like with Darnell. So Dom knew of me too. So like everybody's like, so I said it's probably the best situation for me, playing with those guys because I was just so familiar with them. Like me and Frank been playing together for like 2-3 years now.
Mm-hmm. What did he say anything specifically in terms of like what your role would be? Obviously, it sounds like he wants you to come in and maybe be like a little bit of an energizer defensively, but did he mention anything about your role?
I mean, just really just be like, honestly, I didn't really give him an opportunity to because I was just like, whatever the team need. Like if for that game, the team need me to play defense, that's what I do. It's for that, like, for that game, if the team need that fifth player to get us over the hump, that's what I have to do. If it's that game, I won't be in the game. Just be there still to support my teammates and, go from what I'm seeing and, talk to them and communicate with them. So just like whatever the team just needs, just be that piece.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like that goes a long way.
No, it does. And I think it's important to note too that like we've seen teams that if they don't have a full squad that is necessarily everyone's ready or like fits perfectly, like it can really like turn your season around a little bit. And so like having that fifth player that fits your team and knows their role and can contribute is the biggest thing. Contribute, in different ways. It goes a long way. So like you got your first opportunity and kind of a tough situation, right? Like Oak said, like this is Killer Threes has been 5-3 for like the past 4 years. They've missed the playoffs barely the past 2 or 3 years. It's weird to see them in this position. Like seriously, it's really weird. And I felt like a lot of it was defensively, but maybe offensively it was like a little bit inconsistent at times. But for you, as you like kind of come in and try to make your mark and get your first opportunity, what's that experience like? Did you feel like there were some adjustments, kind of looking back on it now that, that you feel like need to be made on your end, or, how are you feeling about it?
Just to calm myself down. I came in like trying to you can't get 1,000 stops in one possession. Just calm myself down and just play defense how I play, and just because I feel like offense is going to always be there. Like guys can knock down the shots, but defense, getting the 50-50 balls, the rebounds, the tip outs, those lead the easy buckets. And like people don't realize like Big Three is a very physical league and it's also fast paced. Like it don't look like it's fast, but it's very fast, especially if you're going 1-on-1 or putting up shots or whatever. So definitely focusing on getting stops, just letting the game come to me.
Yeah, is like I don't think I've asked this question enough, and I've been to games, but like obviously a lot of people have played 3-on-3 growing up, so it's not like a huge adjustment from going 5-on-5 to 3-on-3 outside of just 4 extra people being on the court. However, it feels like the half court itself is like bigger and makes things a little bit more challenging defensively. Did you feel like you had to make some adjustments defensively, like from your first possession to like your next possession?
I feel like it's just more hustle because the court is so spaced out.
Yeah.
And like fives, it's a couple extra people that's in the way that, could rotate over. It's 3-on-3 in that big old court. So you got to make, decisions, whether to go help and get back or whether to go and trap or whatever. So just the decision making had to be better and faster.
Yeah. I feel like it's a lot of like hedging too, right? Like just trying to get in the minds of people because I mean, a lot of it will be one-on-one, obviously, but a lot of it's too. It's just like 2-man game as well. So, it's tough to like just be able to be all in sync on defensively. I feel like, and make sure you're taking care of your responsibility when it feels like there's so many. Like you're basically taking care of everyone's responsibility. Sometimes it feels like,
and you're playing all great players,
right?
Like it's not. You're not going to go to a team who's like, you don't really got to guard that guy.
Yeah,
it's not like that in this league.
No, it's true. And to your credit, like your first game is against a bivouac team who's definitely faced their own fair share of challenges, but like they're having their best year. So it's like, you come in, the team's down, and it's like, okay, yeah, let me just take on one of the top 2 teams of this year as well while I'm at it. So
yeah.
How do you feel now? Like obviously you said you have to calm yourself down, but like going into your next matchup, you play another really tough team and enemies. But how are you feeling about and obviously Killer Threes isn't where they want to be, with their record, but like, how are you feeling just like going in more confident now that you've gotten that experience? And then 2, just like the chance to like maybe spoil someone else's.
Definitely more confident. I feel like I'm more, calm about it. I got my feet wet now. I got a feel for it. I just feel like I don't even say pressure, but it's the pressure that I had before is not there. Because like I said, I got my feet wet. I see exactly what the team need out of me, and so I just go out there, and produce.
Yeah, you gotta like I said, a good enemies team coming up, but like also a team that like loves to talk shit. Like they're riding their high right now. Like winning 7 in a row and being the champions. It'd be dope if you'll come in. I'm not, no pressure added, obviously, but it'd be dope if your squad could like knock them off and just create a little parity, because I feel like anybody in this league could actually beat anybody in this league. The teams that are winless right now are it's only a couple points that could change their whole season around. So,
nah, definitely. Like I said, it's definitely a winnable game. Like I said, we just got to do our part. We had a call actually yesterday and everything. So everybody know what everybody needs to do. And like I said, that's a great team.
Yeah.
For sure. It's definitely winnable. Anybody can lose on any given day.
Yeah.
So when you come out there, we do that. That'll be big for us.
Yeah.
It'll be big.
Y'all got a good culture too, like that Killer Three's culture that's built by Frank. Really all four of them because they've been together for so long, but just the culture they've built, even dating back to like when Stack was the captain there, seems like it's a good one. Just like everyone's like very close and has a lot of camaraderie. So that, like you said, the perfect team.
Yeah, for sure.
You got a chance to, like I said, be a part of that Bring the Fire situation. What was that experience like? And just because obviously it's like a different wrinkle to the game of basketball in general, just disputing a foul call like that.
I mean, kind of like just from the background of playing street ball, you're going to parks, ain't no ref out there, so you're going to get fouled. It's a lot of one-on-one and things like that. So I was definitely ready for that. Like it wasn't a doubt in my mind. I also knew like I am smaller, so okay, they're gonna try to post me up. I know the first thing they're gonna try to do is back to the basket. Mm-hmm. So that's why I just made sure I could wall up and be that and get a stop. So definitely hope that makes Oakley trust that don't like to bring the fire.
Yeah. He was like, man, I'm gonna bring the Well,
he did it.
Yeah. I mean, he's just like, I don't want to say he's hazing you, but he's like, all right, let's really get his feet wet now, right? Like, let's throw him in this situation. So, the super cool experience there. I want to get your I want to like take a step back, like outside of just your team and just what you're doing, just get your idea on the whole league, just because you've had a chance to like kind of see it up close for the past couple weeks now. What do you think, just like kind of hitting the halfway point of the season in terms of the teams that are on top? Is there anyone that stands out to you, just in your opinion, like a team that could, really make some noise come, the playoffs approaching?
I mean, bro, the enemies are a good team. They're just well-rounded. They play together. You're not a champion for no reason.
Right.
And like I said, it's the same exact team. So, they know everybody coming after them, so I feel like they got to play that much, harder and bring that energy. Like I said, BIG3, it was a couple close ones with them. Mm-hmm. I did see one game they won off the technical. That's a little bit different. The Threes company, they're playing well. Nas doing this thing, they playing very well. Yeah. Like I said, at any given time, any team can turn it around. It depends on who wins and who loses. So I feel like every team is pretty, well-rounded. Every team is really, stacked. So I feel like Q did his thing with the league, man. The coaches, the captains, they pick very good, well-rounded teams and everything like that. So everybody, you got to come out and compete every night. Yeah,
for sure. That Threes Company's team is I don't know. I think one to watch out for too. For them, it's like I'm surprised they haven't made the playoffs. Just with B's on that team, so it goes to show just how competitive this league is over the past few years, even since he's joined, and just what you got to do to be able to make the playoffs. But that team is scary because I feel like they have really good additions to their team, and then not only that, they're letting everybody get like comfortable off the jump. So like they've kind of done their thing. B's went off the first couple of weeks. Rio was doing his thing. And now it's like, all right, let's get Nas more involved. Let's get Reggie more involved. And that's like a team that I think could be dangerous on the stretch too. So
definitely.
We'll see. Outside of just the big three and what you do on the court, what's your experience been like so far off the court? I feel like that's an underrated part about the big three and just being part of it.
I think what was making it so great for me as well is just like everybody like embraced me. Like, it's a lot of, big timers in the league, they embrace you, they're going to, speak to you, give you knowledge or whatever the case may be. But they just like, everybody is like cool. Everybody cool. They show love. Just playing, in different other leagues and, with teams and things like that. It's not always like that. Yeah. Just because on different teams, guys look at you like an enemy. But at the same, I feel like it's just a brotherhood. Like obviously we go out there and get between them lines, we compete, but off the court, it's just a brotherhood.
Which is crazy too, because everyone is just like talking trash to each other like the entirety of the day, and then it's like all like everyone brings it back in. They're like, all right, like we're cool now.
Yeah,
I mean, like that.
Yeah, for sure.
That game against Briscoe and T, I felt like they were just kind of going back and forth the entirety of it. And first off, the fact that they lost, like Briscoe's team lost despite him scoring like 37 points or whatever is one thing, but then it's hard to talk trash when your team loses too, right? So like, but the fact that they were able to like come together and like, you know, I've seen on Teague's podcast him just talking about like, you know, giving him his props and stuff. I think that's cool. I don't think you get that in every league, like you said.
Exactly. Like I said, like everybody, you just show love. Like obviously you're gonna compete when you need to compete, but outside of that, everybody show love. Everybody look out for each other.
Yeah, for sure. One last thing I want to touch on is just around, and I kind of mentioned at the top of the show, just in terms of getting the chance to see people that are part of Ball is Life or the YouTubers or whatever people, you know, around the community or that watch you guys kind of try to call and discredit you guys. I mean, we've seen over the past couple of years, not only people from that community and that scene join, just guys like Hezzy God. I mean, Frank is probably the first one. Frank, Hezzy God, Nas, yourself, Brandon Moss, Body Bag, you know, but also seen them do really well, right? We got captains, we got rookies of the years, we got number one picks out of that. And it's crazy because like you guys, like I should say the people within your community have been discredited for so long, despite the fact that y'all are getting paid to play basketball. And those people that are discrediting you are the guys watching you guys. But to any of really the haters out there, just any of those people that you can give an understanding to of just like why you guys are legit, like what does it really have to say just about you guys doing it at the highest stage now, despite your background or journey to get there?
I mean, like I always said, a YouTuber is not a thing. YouTube is just a platform that pays you. Just because you're on YouTube doesn't mean you don't have a resume. That doesn't mean you haven't played, you know, overseas or D1 or even NBA, because a lot of the times we play against NBA guys, you know. Like I played against Kyrie. So I'm saying it's things like that, like, oh, he's a YouTuber. What does that mean? Like, what does that really mean? Because YouTube is just a platform that pays you. If you, like you said again, if you get paid from playing basketball, you're a professional basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you gotta take, you know, what people like that say like with a grain of salt, because you know you can't make everybody happy. Everybody's, you know, they're entitled to their opinion. But I mean, all you can do is just show them and just keep paving the way. You know, break barriers, man. That's it. I think that's the best way you can shut them up. You don't say nothing back. You just continue just to create lanes and, you know, succeed.
Yeah, nah, that's true, and I think that's the dopest part about this league is the inclusion that Cube and Jeff Quantnitz have for the players in this league. It's like it's not just ex-NBA players or guys that played overseas for a long time. It's, you know, it's expanded to guys that have been on 3-on-3 tour for FIBA and seeing if they can compete. You know, guys that this platform is on YouTube, and it's cool to see like just everybody from their neck of the woods, you know, succeeding. Like that's been the dopest part. Whether it's like on a consistent basis or not, like we've seen, like we said, captains and top picks and from all spaces. So that's cool. And I'm glad you're, you know, getting to be a part of that wave and excited to see what, you know, you're going to do next week. Also, you have one of these hats yet? You need to make sure you get some.
Yeah.
The Q3's merch.
That's tough. That's tough. I like it. That's tough.
Yeah. I was going to say, hit up that man, Sonny. He's got all the merch. He had given me one of these at the games, but I saw a white one too, and I felt like the white one was pretty sick. So.
Oh yeah, bro. You gotta send me his information so I can get it with him, bro. Like I definitely appreciate you for tuning in with me. You know, appreciate Ice Cube, you know, for creating something so dope. You know, for guys like me. You know, I didn't play Division I basketball. You know, I've had the opportunity to go overseas, but that's never something that I really wanted to do, and still being able, you know, make it to this level. It shows, it inspires. It definitely do.
It's cool too. I'm sure you're, you know, I don't know if he's gotten the chance yet, but maybe your son will get to come out and watch you play and, you know, get to do it stateside. Like, it's not like you have to like take your whole family overseas or whatever the case might be. So, you know, the Skywalka family can see from, you know, their own country. So
for sure, you know, they tuned in. You know, that's one of, you know, my biggest, you know, support systems. So, you know, definitely like just showing them like it's just different lanes, it's different ways. Like it's 5 different ways to get to Walmart.
Yeah,
but you gotta get to Walmart.
That's an extremely good point too. I mean, I didn't even think about just like showing that if they wanted to play or whatever they do in life, it don't even have to be like a sport, but anything they do professionally, there's ways to do it. There's not just one way to do it. So, man, that's a good message, and good luck to you this next week. The last thing I want to do is just, you know, I know that you do a lot just in terms of with Ball is Life. You got a stream going up. Just wanted for you to be able to share, you know, where people can find you. They're not already following the page, and what do you have coming up, you know, here in the next week or two?
On all platforms, it's Duke Skywalka. It's YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram. Definitely, I'm kind of in tune with, like, you know, doing the challenges right now. Everybody liking, you know, the challenges, you know. So definitely be on the lookout for challenges. I'm about to get back in my reaction bag. So, bro, you want to do some stuff, you know, holler at me, man. You know, I stream too. I do a little bit of gaming as well. So I just do a little bit of, you know, everything. I got this commercial that's in the works right now. So just tune in.
Yes, sir. And obviously a big game this week against enemies. So Duke, appreciate the time, man. Best of luck to you guys this week. See if you can make some noise, and excited to see the rest of how the season turns out. So thanks again. I appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you for having me, bro.
Yes, sir.